Alright, so today is week 5, day 2, and here we are day 1, reading the introduction to the inside living things. So, I put the vocabulary in here, would like for you to look them over. We're really talking about, antibodies, arteries, body systems, capillaries, cells, cell membrane, cell wall, cytoplasm, mitochondria, nucleus, organ, pathogens, photosynthesis, plasma, tissues, vacuoles, and veins. Okay. And here we go. Introduction. Suppose you had microscopic X-ray vision. You would be able to take a deep look inside living things. What would you learn? What would you discover deep inside a rose, for example, or an elephant, or a human being like yourself? This book will help these questions by looking deep inside living things. This is what a rose petal would look like. No wonder why they're so soft. Look at that. It's all so... Even under a microscope, they look pretty cool. Cells. All living things are made of cells. Cells are the smallest unit of life. They produce the energy that makes living things grow and function. Some living things only have one cell. Tiny algae, diatoms, and protozoa are examples of organisms that have only one cell. All of these activities needed for each organism's survival are carried on in its cell. Organisms with one cell live in a wide range of places. This includes ponds, rivers, and soil. Some one-celled organisms are even found inside the bodies of other living things. Other organisms have many cells. All of the cells work together so that many organisms can live. The bigger the organism, the more cells it usually has. An organism as big as a whale has trillions of cells. That's understandable. There are two basic types of cells, plant cells and animal cells. That's kind of important. Let's look at animal cells. By the way, if we were at school, we would have just made these. We would have talked about these. I had tons of samples of them with Model Magic in my class, and I would have had you guys do that. And I would have guided that, but it's difficult to do when you're not there. The outer covering of the animal cell is called the cell membrane. The cell membrane is like a filter. It allows certain things to pass into and out of the cell. Nutrients are allowed to enter the cell. Waste is allowed to exit. Inside the cell membrane is a jelly fluid called cytoplasm. Other cell parts float in the cytoplasm. One important part is the nucleus. The nucleus is like the cell membrane. It controls all of the cell's activities. Oh, this is what I'm going to underline. Plant and animal cells have many of the same parts, but plant cells have a cell wall and chloroplast, which animal cells don't have. I'm putting this important. Plant food and storage. Animals have to eat food in order to live. However, plants can make their own food. Store a special material called chlorophyll. It is found in the plant cytoplasts. Chlorophyll absorbs energy from light. The plant uses this energy, other materials from the air, and water to make food. This process is called photosynthesis. Animal cells do not have chlorophyll or chloroplast. Sometimes, though, I feel like when I sit in the sun, I don't feel as hungry, and I love being outside, and I don't want to be inside anymore. I can't wait for the weather to be better. It's been better. It's just balancing work and life. In many ways, plant cells are like animal cells. Both have cell membrane and nucleus and cytoplasm, but they also have some parts that are different. A plant cell has a cell wall that surrounds the cell membrane. The cell wall supports the cell, and animal cells do not have cell walls. Plants have a cell wall, animals do not. All cells turn food into energy. Mitochondria are the cell parts that change energy into forms the cells use to do their job. Most cells also have several sac-like structures called vacuoles. These structures store food and water until the cell needs them. They also store waste until it can be removed from the cell, almost like your gut. Stores food till you need it and then gets rid of it. Poo-poo, pa-choo. Different kinds of cells. Not all cells are alike. An organism's cells differ depending on their function. To better understand how cells can differ, let's take a look at some of the kinds of cells found in animals. Most animals have animal parts that work together. Each part is made of different kinds of cells. There are muscle cells, nerve cells, blood cells, and hundreds of other types of cells. The cells must work together to keep the body working correctly. I'm not gonna lie, this is amazing. Our bodies are amazing. Scientists estimate that there are 75 trillion cells in the human body. Although the exact number changes, cells are always growing, dying, and being replaced. These cells are very small. It would take 10,000 cells just to cover the head of a pin. That would be like the pin, like that big. That it would take. That's how big a pin head. Maybe a little bit bigger. But anyway, you get it. Like about that. 10,000 cells. That's crazy. I must have more than that because I'm like giant compared to a kid. Alright. And that's it for the cells inside living things.